Hello, everybody. It's Trevor here with another Daclus quality review. This is part of my New Year's resolution to see every movie that comes out in my theater and do a quick little review of it while sitting in my car on my phone. Now, I don't know if you can tell, but this isn't my car. I've borrowed a vehicle. It's a long story to explain, so I won't. But I am in a vehicle. Just after seeing the movie Miracles from Heaven. So in this movie, a child gets sick and it's an incurable illness. But and she can't eat food properly, basically, and that's sort of the story. I mean, it's weird because part of the story is a huge spoiler because it's the end of the movie, but it's in the trailer, so I'm gonna say it later. I will. I'm not gonna say it right now, just in case you don't want to be spoiled and you haven't seen the trailer. But I feel like this is one you have to see the trailer to know if you'll enjoy it because that's basically my recommendation of this movie is if you saw the trailer and you thought it looked good, go and see it. Otherwise, I do not recommend this movie really at all. I mean, I'm gonna uh, preface this with I'm not really religious. It's a religious movie. It's a Christian movie. It's by Affirm Films, like I think every other Christian movie I've seen so far. I don't know if they're the studio that, or yeah, I don't know if they're they're the producers on this or what, but basically, it's this movie is not entirely for me. I'm agnostic, so seeing this movie, it doesn't do a lot for me. I mean, I'm fine with religion in a movie. I feel like as the main point, basically just it's it needs to have a story that isn't just about religion to really get me, and it needs to be it can be an aspect of film, but ugh, as a main thing, it's tough for me, I think, and yeah. Basically, I think a lot of these movies, as even the production company or studio is called Affirm, it's more of an affirmation of what you already believe. That's what these films really are. Um, and so they're not great. Well, they're not incredibly well done. They keep. I mean, I don't know how many I've already seen this year, three or four. I mean, that's especially this early for a studio. I mean, like that, they're pouring them out, so they're not. I don't know if they're putting a lot of work into these, and so I think the quality isn't great. Um, I had a lot of issues with this, but at the same time, I think like I actually invited my mom to go see this with me. I mean, she just wanted a lazy day, but she didn't want to leave the house today, so whatever. But leave her house. But this is definitely a movie that she would enjoy. It's definitely more her demographic. It's for mothers or grandmothers, something to that effect. Christian grandmothers and mothers. It's has a lot of issues though. I have a lot of issues with it in terms of it's the most well acted, but also there's some problems because I like the little girl is the best actor I think in this, but the problem is she's acting like an adult. Like straight up, this is the probably the most unchildlike child I have ever seen in a movie. I think I've seen or a TV show. I think I've seen this actor the kid actor in other things. I've seen her in I think she might have been in the TV show The Whispers or something. I've watched that show. I don't remember who the kids were in it that much, but she might have been in that. I'm pretty sure I've seen her in something, and I think she's acted more like a kid in other things. But in this, she's straight up just. It's not because a lot of movies I think do kids poorly, where maybe the dialogue is like a kid doesn't talk like that. Whereas this, it's not only the kid doesn't talk, kids don't talk like that. They also don't have those mannerisms or act like that. And I think I mean, there are points where it's definitely more childlike because it is a kid, so the kid is probably childlike in a lot of ways. But the actual kid, but they're probably, this kid is probably directed so much to act like an adult in a lot of ways and is saying things that a kid doesn't talk like. They don't use wordplay like this. They don't formulate this sort of level of complexity when it comes to dialogue. It just doesn't. It doesn't work well. Talking about uh, see, I can't even know. but I had like just some of the dialogue is just it's like kids don't wouldn't say stuff like that for sure. They wouldn't talk about express mail and all this stuff. And I don't know. I've never been around a kid who acted like that, who's better, just really strong. And it's weird because all the adults like talk to the kid like it's a kid, and they're like, oh, oh, like the doctor, especially the doctor is like, because they're like, oh, sweetie, huh, oh, and they do this, they act like they just talk to like it's a little kid. And so like the doctor's like, I'm a pirate, and doing all this, just talking almost like baby voice ish. It's above baby voice, you know. When as they start getting older, you change the way you talk to a kid, and that's sort of what this is. But then the kid is responding like a grown adult, and I think one of the best acted scenes in this movie is the kid has a seriously emotional moment that is, I mean, it got the rest of the audience in tears, but I was at such a point where it doesn't get to me, even though it's so well acted and even the dialogues. I mean, it's good dialogue, but it's adult dialogue for a kid, and it's this kid is strongly acting this, but like an adult, and it's weird. But it's, I mean, it was really emotional, really strong. But I'm so thrown off by the adult acting kid. Like if this feels more like an adult than it does a kid, and so even that, and so she's really good in it, but I think she's directed very poorly. I think she's given bad direction and also bad writing. The dialogue is just what I don't understand. As well as, I mean, the dialogue of people like Jennifer Garner's character, who it her every scene she's in, she either starts out really emotional or ends up emotional pretty quick. It's 0 to 60. It's just like her every scene she's has the same sort of or angry face, and it's like and it's too much. It's too much. And it's every scene you know it's gonna happen. So even in the scenes where it's supposed to be a strong and the better scenes, it's already, I feel like the build up to those scenes is bad because you're already seeing her just go get 0 to 60 emotional already so much that you don't it doesn't feel like it works incredibly well when it happens at the actual point where it really even more should at those points. As well as she's emotional sometimes, and she's what she's doing is just saying exposition. So she's more, and I think that's a huge part of this, is it feels like whoever's, just doing the initial plotting of this movie, that's her dialogue, is whoever they plot is the plot of the movie is plotting. And so like when they're saying, oh, she feels emotional, and oh, her kid, because her kid is sick and all these things, and it's just saying those things. She's just saying these things, she's saying it in an emotional way, but there's like weird points where she's just shouting exposition and or like information that we're supposed to know, that we didn't know before and stuff like this, or that we have already known. Like she tells the story at one point, she gets emotional and she just explains, is telling the story up until now with some extra stuff, and we don't get character um, development so much as we're told character development. We're told, and we don't see like, oh, here's the background of a character. We're told the background of a character. We're told, oh, this is my character who, and we're told these things, and it's rough. I think it's rough in those ways. It's better acted, and the story is, you already know the story. I mean, if you've seen the trailer, you know the story. That trailer is basically everything that happens in the movie. I mean, there's some extra stuff, but for the most part, it's everything. I mean, it tells you the end. So I'm gonna get to that. Is I have to mention it because it's sort of, they actually, there's trickery in the trailer. Exactly how it happens, it's not much, but it's sort of, the kid falls from the tree and she's healed, and that's basically right at about the end of the movie. There's a little like denouement made stuff there at the end, but it's basically the end of the movie. And so I mean, they make it look like in the trailer, in the movie, that she falls with the branch. That's not exactly what happens, but it's weirdly done as well there. because they make jokes like right after this happens. Like this is supposed to be an emotional moment where, to be honest, you don't know if she's dead or alive, and there's some jokes being made. Like there's some sort of jokey moments, and it's weird. Um, I just think there's a lot of weirdness. It's not incredible. I will say though, again, the theater was in tears at moments. They clapped at the end, so uh, there are a lot of people I think would really enjoy this. I don't think it's for me. I'd say if you see the trailer and you want to see it because you'll probably enjoy it then. But it's definitely not someone who's like me and critical of movies. Um, is looking for actually like good dialogue and good act. I mean, it's decent acting. It's fine. It's passable. I mean, again, the little girl's very good. I think some of the best moments where Queen Latifah shows up. She's in this, but she's barely in it. She's sort of she shows up. She has some good moments, and that's probably one of the better moments. It picks up sort of there, and then just her character just kind of goes away. It's weird. I don't know why the character is even there for the most part. I guess she's maybe in real life there, and I mean it does kind of go back to her later, but not really. I mean it's weird. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not religious either, but I think this is more for people like my mom. It's the Christian mothers or grandmothers. They'll enjoy this movie. I don't know how many other people will who aren't like who aren't those that's that demographic. Um, yeah, I can't really recommend it. Anyway, I was hoping my mother would come along with me because I would like to. I was hoping that because she is religious, she's Christian, so I was like, she's much more religious, and maybe then I could get a review from her that's more the speed of the what this movie is trying to go towards. Anyway, I think that's enough. That's enough of this movie. I'll go on to what's coming up next week. Okay, next movie I'll see is Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. I'm seeing that on Monday before anything else. I think I've said this in other ones, but uh, I'm going to try to get that up as soon as possible. I don't know. They might take it down from YouTube if after I see it because I think it'll be up before the before press is allowed to actually give out the reviews and everything. So uh, it's iffy. I don't know when it'll be up, but I'm seeing that on Monday, an early screening of it. So I'll get that up as soon as I can. Uh, yeah, I don't know what other movies are coming out next week. Mainly because that's the only one I can think of that's coming out is Batman vs Superman. So I'll see the other movies when they're out on the weekend after this one, and I'll have my reviews up. But until then, thank you everyone for watching. Check out more videos on this channel. We do trailer reactions, not just me talking to you about movies, doing these movie reviews, but trailer reactions as well. I do a podcast called Geek Wars Podcast with a couple friends of mine. They're the people in those trailer reviews, reactions. So check those out. Check out our podcasts on your favorite podcatcher, iTunes, Podbean, Podcast Addict. It's Geek Wars Podcast. I think I said that already. You can follow us on Twitter at Geek Wars Podcast, and you can follow me on Twitter at Daclus, Daclus. Spelling is in the title of the video. I didn't need to say that, but I did. Uh, Thank you again, everyone, for watching. And until next time, bye. Have a good one.